So you take your brown color or your blonde color, your red color, whatever color you're going to do for hair, and take a long strip of it. And I think I measured it out to be something like this. So it's a little bit longer than my doll. So that is the long piece that you're going to use for your hair. And what you're going to do is just leave it folded in half so that you have, you know, 2 strands of hair. And you're going to glue it to the back of your doll's head in the very center. So this is the back of my doll. And my glue's dried. Whee! There we go. Okay. So put you a small glue line all the way up the back of the head, because, you know, the whole back of our head is covered with hair. And you're going to put your loop at the top of your head. Light press is okay. You know, try not to get glue all over your fingers. And so now you're going to just press them into the glue. It's okay if they're wacky and flying everywhere. We can fix it later. Press them into our glue line so that they go straight down and just kind of create this makeshift ponytail. So lightly press on your head and then hold your hair at the bottom and pull upward. And do it once or twice, you know, just trying to kind of hide the glue and, you know, not leave your smears. So now we have a head with hair. And she looks kind of funny right now, but it's okay. But this is how we're going to put the hair on. So cut you another piece about that long. So I'm going to fold it in half again. And this time I'm going to put it on the side of my head. So I have my little peached loop right here. And I have my doll. And I'm going to put it right beside that other loop that I made. So I have that little glue dab. And then I'm going to put the loop in the top of it. And kind of stick it on. And then I'm going to just kind of press it into the glue. Now it's okay if not all of it presses into the glue, because you're going to make a second layer after you finish this one. So run your fingers up it to collect any excess. If you have any flyaways that you know you can fix, go ahead and fix them. And just continue to do this until you covered your head. Don't worry if they're off. You know, these 2 pieces are a lot longer than these 2 pieces. But it's okay, because, you know, later on you're going to cut them all at a flush length, because I'm going to cut my girl's hair to about here. She's not going to have this long hair. She's just going to go to about here. So that's all you have to do for that, okay? Okay, so I went ahead and cut a bunch of pieces for my hair. And I'm just going to do the same thing as I was doing a minute ago. So I'm going to go to the other side of my head and draw a little line and put a glue dot and a little line of glue and put on the hair. So I'm going to skip to the front, you know, and go ahead and show you guys how to put the hairline on the front of our head, where our ears are and our bangs and whatever else. So determine just where that is. Like, I'm going to put a glue dot right here for where the forehead would be. And then I'm going to put a teeny tiny glue line right above the ears, right behind our temples. And then you're going to take a piece of thread and just kind of follow that line around. So get your thread and fold it in half, just like we did earlier, so that you have this loop. And at the tip of the loop, put it on the forehead. Give it a little press, just to kind of get it to stick. My loops don't want to separate. So now you're going to go to the temple and put some hair on the temple. And then you're going to go to the other temple and put the hair on that temple as well. And then just press it a little bit. You know, try not to move your finger too much because it'll pull it off. But that will just kind of give you an outline of how far to go with your hair. Because if you go much further, you're going to cover her face up. So that's pretty much it for that part of it. If they stick out a little bit, you know, kind of like this one here is, it's okay. Don't worry about it. We can cover it and fix it later. But just kind of fill in the blanks with your glue lines in your hair and finish hairing her. And you have a few empty spaces in between, but you're going to go over it a second time. And then you should have a nice, thick, full head of hair, okay? So cut you a whole bunch of little pieces that are roughly the same size. You know, they don't have to be perfect. And just kind of fold them in half and, of course, finish hairing her. And, of course, you're going to cover your toothpick, too. You don't want her to have a big bald spot on the top of her head. Okay? Okay, so now that the hair has been put on the doll, and we have both layers on there, I guess it's time to kind of style it now, because we have kind of little flyaways like this, and, you know, it just kind of looks kind of crazy. So the best thing to do is just kind of find a good spot for it to sit. Like this, for instance, I kind of want it up front. So I'm going to put a teeny tiny dab of glue right there, and just stick it on, glue it down right there. So move those two out of the way. Those are the two pieces I'm going to glue. If you need a teeny tiny toothpick to put a glue dot on there for you, it might be a good idea. If you can use your glue tip, that's fine too. So I'm going to put one piece of hair on there, and I think I'm going to put a bigger glue dot in between right there, so it's kind of attached to both the pieces of hair and her shoulder. And there's my other one. So these two pieces of hair will kind of sit on her shoulder. And they won't move, they're stationary now. The rest of the hair you don't have to glue down if you don't want to. As you can see, none of this is attached except to the head. So I'm actually not going to glue a lot of it down. I'm just kind of going to place a couple things that need to stay down where they need to go. Like this flyaway that has been bothering me. I'm going to stick it on the side of the shoulder. So just move everything out of the way. Get a teeny bit of glue. Because if you use much more than that, you're gonna, it's gonna kind of go everywhere and it's not gonna look all that great. So just get your hair where you want it. And I don't know, I might glue some of this down. It's getting kind of wild. See how it's kind of starting to fray a little bit? It's okay. You can just kind of help it make it, it just kind of helps it look more like hair. So I'm going to be kind of generous with this blob because it's just going to glue my hair into place. And just going to take my loose hairs and lay them on top of it. Just lay it on top, hold it down, give it a second to dry. And that just kind of keeps it from going crazy and going haywire and flying everywhere. Still have a few pieces left over that are not glued, that's fine. Gonna move up just a little bit to right here and glue them down right there. I'm gonna give it just a little bit more glue, something to hang on to. And just kind of pet it down to where you want it. Run a fingernail through it if you kind of think it needs to be brushed a little. Whoops, came unglued. Okay. So my hair's pretty much where I want it. I'm going to stick this one piece here. Right there. Whoops, all my glue's kind of showing through now. Just kind of scrape it off if you can before it dries. Okay, is this one loose too? You know, just kind of check and see how many of your loose strands there are. Some of you may want to just totally glue the hair down. You don't have to. I'm just trying to make sure most of my flyaways aren't gonna totally mess her hair up. There we go. Okay. So give it a chance to kind of dry. And then you're going to take your scissors and you're going to cut everything at the length that you want it. And I want mine right past the edge of the outfit. So see? You're just going to go through and cut where everything needs to be cut. If it's not perfect, that's fine. That's just a doll. You know, she doesn't have perfect hair. No one does. And just go around and cut all that excess off. And then start from the other side. And work your way from one side to the other, because otherwise your hair is going to end up a little lopsided. You shouldn't end up cutting any of the body or the outfit, but be wary of that. You don't want to accidentally cut everything off and have things come unraveled. Okay. Slip my blade up underneath there and cut the rest of it off. There we go. Now, of course, it's not perfect. I'm not sure how well you guys can tell how imperfect it is, but it doesn't matter. You know, it looks good enough for me, and that's all that does matter. So we now have our doll with hair, and she looks pretty good. You know, you can't see her scalp because, you know, we went over the second time and made sure everything was covered. And we took that second layer of bangs so that, you know, it kind of covers the top of her head. So, you know, her head looks pretty good. Her face actually looks kind of like a face. Hair's all generally the same length. And of course, all your bits and pieces, just throw them away. If you leave them out, they're going to get on everything. You know, try not to sneeze while you have them out. They go everywhere very easily. So, that's it for the hair, really, and styling and whatnot. So let's put our bow on. Let's go ahead and put the bow on it. Let's see, where do you want the bow? I'm going to stick mine like right here, where it would be above her ear. So I'm going to take the bow that we made earlier. I'm going to hold it by its tails and find out which side looks better. That side or that side? I think I'm going to go with this side. This side looks more like a bow to me. So this is the side that's going to stick out. So you're going to take your doll and put a tiny glue dot where you want the knot of the bow to be. Wherever you want your bow. Let's see here, I need a toothpick or something. I don't have a needle or anything to poke a tiny dot. So let's see if this will work. Alright, there's some tiny. We're actually just going to make a teeny tiny little V. And I know that doesn't quite look like a V, but it's okay. There. So make a tiny little V. And at the base of the V is where you're going to put your knot on your bow. And then just kind of press it on. The loops of the bow kind of will take up the rest of the V. Press it on, make it stay. And that looks absolutely horrible, but oh well. Alright. Now, you're going to cut your tails. And of course, they don't have to be perfect. They don't have to be perfectly symmetrical. I actually don't like to leave mine symmetrical hardly at all. Just cut all the way through there. There. Okay. And now you're going to glue your tails down the same way that you did your hair. I'm going to cut that tail too short. So just try to get your glue right up and underneath your tail and glue it down. And that got really wide. All of a sudden my thread started to unravel. I kind of want it to stay just like that. There. I'm actually going to put a little glue on top of it and wipe it away real quick. And that will keep it from fraying too much. Now I'm going to do the same with the other part of the bow. Just a teeny tiny line of glue. Not sure. There, you guys see the glue. And put my tail on top of it. Just right on top. There we go. Now, our girl has been finished. This is it. She's done. That's it. My bow doesn't look all that great, but oh well. This girl was made pretty much just for the tutorial, so she doesn't have to be perfect. There you have a finished girl. She has hair and a head and even a little bow. So that's where everything has been completed. You know, she's got clothes, body, everything. So this little girl, I don't know what I'll do with her. She's kind of cute. She has really cute hair. And anyways, there you go. There's a finished doll. Any questions? Feel free to send me a message, you guys. Enjoy.